Hello, hello today. It's your boy Steve at Vast Motorsports. Today I'm working on Robbie's Super Air Nautique G25. Got the PCM LS motor, more or less, LS Chevy, but it's a PCM 450 in this one. It's going to be the same on a lot of boat motors. So anyway, if you want to learn how to change the oil and the fuel filter, stick around. All right, so the first thing, you want to go ahead and have your engine running for at least a couple minutes just to kind of warm it up. And I was doing that already because, as you can see, I've got everything taken apart here. This is the floor in the wake boat. Now, you could probably take it out or whatever, but I'm not strong enough to get it out by myself, so I just strapped it up to the wake tower. Now, you don't have to do all this. I was changing the oil filter adapter on the bottom side of the motor. I had to figure out what was leaking here. We had a really bad oil leak in it, and it also had a really bad water leak taking on water, and it was the prop shaft, the dripless seal shaft, or shaft seal that goes around the prop shaft, and it's underneath that transmission there. That's why I have everything tore apart. If you want to see all that going on, that action, if you want to learn about those, you can see that in my other videos. I'll tie all these into the playlist for the wake boat. Alright, so I have a rubber fitting and I stuck it on the dipstick tube, got out what I could. You just pump it, let it suck it out. And I stuck the dipstick back in and checked it. Nothing's touching the dipstick, but I just feel like it should have more. So we're going to just do a double check. You've always got this rubber hose coming off the bottom of the oil pan. I don't have an adapter to fit it. There's no plug hole to just run it out like an inboard-outboard motor. You can fish it out the plug hole in the back. So I'm going to try to take some tape and just tape the two together to make a good enough seal to see if it'll allow it to suck the oil through, if there's anything left. Alright, it seems like it's pretty decent. We'll find out in just a second here. I'm going to give it a little couple pumps. Oh yeah, there she goes. I don't know if you can see it going through or not, the tube, but we're pulling out more oil. Now you can do this for the whole oil change. I started out in a dipstick because most Cruiser motors you can. I forgot with this one it'll only get 2 or 2.5 quarts out. So I remembered I have to go through this hose. So just taping it on like that, rigging it up works fine. Now we're just going to let it pull until we start seeing air. You'll hear the difference when it's out. Go ahead and open the oil cap. I should have opened the oil cap first to let it vent out, but you can hear it. Here it's sucking. Now it's just sucking air, so it's got all the oil out of the system now. So I'm going to take my razor and just cut the tape off. Okay. We'll take this hose and throw it outside the boat. I want no oil dripping in here. Take my cap, put it back on the end of the hose here. Make sure you take your wrenches and tighten it. Good and tight. We don't want no oil leaking in the boat. We already had enough of that with the oil leak that I just fixed. It's in the other video. Alright, so I just got back from doing a second coat of paint in there on the golf cart. I'm doing 2 jobs at once, always in a few different things, and that's in a different video, y'all, if you want to see how to spray paint a golf cart. I normally wouldn't spray paint one, but I've done it one other time because the guy wanted it that was buying the cart from me. And this one is one I'm just using around the shop as a junker cart. It was a cheap $200 flood cart from down there in Florida when I was at the RV. One of my neighbors sold it to me. So anyway, what we're going to do is finish up this oil change, and I'm going to go ahead and break the filter loose. Now, you might not always have the access I've got right now. I've got everything open because I'm doing the water leak dripless seal on the prop shaft in a different video, and I had the oil leak real bad on the motor here. So anyway, go ahead and grab a couple bags here. Now, if you didn't have all this opened up like I do, all you do is climb in your hole here, lift up your side panel, and you got access to it right here. The fuel filter's right here. We're about to do it too. Gonna make a mess. Hard to avoid that. Thankfully on this one, I've already got such a major disaster down in the bottom of the hull because the oil leak the motor already had. So I had to wash everything out with Purple Power anyway. I'm not that worried about it. Whoop. Just take a rag and stick under it. Luckily, I have my can right there to dispose of it. Feel under here, make sure that the O-ring from the filter did not stick on it, or check your filter before you toss it. Now, I did go with the good stuff on this. I actually go with the original Pleasure Craft filter. I'm sure I can go right to Advance or O'Reilly and get the standard filter. Again, when you got a high dollar wake boat like this, why chance it? It's just peace of mind. I know this is what's supposed to be on here, so I'm going with that. Pour a little oil in here to get it filled up because the filter is going straight up and down, so you can do that on this one. Now, I'm not a certified Super Air Nautique mechanic, so I'm not going to recommend what type of oil. You do your own research on that. You do what you feel safe. A lot of people, it calls for 1540. About the only thing you can find in that is going to be like diesel oil, Shell Rotella, which is fine to run, or Royal Purple, synthetic, stuff like that. But, you know, I would say if you change it just a couple points on the weight, it's not going to be that big deal. You can run 1040. You can go Bass Pro Shop or Walmart, get the Quicksilver or the Bass Pro brand, the 2540. Either one works fine. Again, I'm not telling you what to run. You pick out what you want. Just run your filter up on there till it makes contact. Go about another quarter turn or something. Just make sure it's nice and snug. Then what I'm going to do is over here on this side, I'm going to go ahead and write the date, so I know when it's been changed. All right. Next, we're going to break the fuel filter loose, same way. Stick your oil filter wrench on. Get it broke loose. She's gonna leak just a hair, a little bit, not much. Actually, thankfully it didn't. Again, I always go with the original equipment, Pleasure Craft, especially on a boat like this. Got my new Pleasure Craft filter. And it is factory sealed. I watched that filter that time and I did see the O-ring come off with it. Double check, everything's good there. Put a little something on there so it don't spin the O-ring. Just spin it right on. Snug her down, put the date. Alright, and that's that. That's how you change your filters and the oil. All I'm going to do now is take my fill cap off over there, put my funnel in, start out with a gallon, 4 quarts. I think it holds 5.5 or 6. I'll look it up again, but just throw in the first gallon. I'll put a little more of the next one in. Fire it up. Get everything circulated. I need to double check for the leak anyway before I drop this floor pan down, because I did have a bad oil leak in the other video. And just let it sit for a little bit and we'll pull the dipstick and check it. If it needs topping off, we'll top it off from there. Alright, so that's pretty much that. And pretty simple, doesn't get much easier. So you can do this yourself, save a lot of money, y'all. So gives you a little chance to learn something about your boat too, one of your favorite items. So that concludes today's video. Me and Jasper wrapping up the wake boat, Super Air Nautique G25. This oil change procedure is going to be the same on most wake boats, most boats in general if they got an inboard. So if you like what you've seen today and you learned a little something, how about give me a thumbs up, please? And if you have not subscribed to the channel, how about hit that subscribe for me? I'm trying to get the little channel to grow. Hit that bell notification. You'll be able to keep up with the upcoming videos and go back on the channel. Look at some of the older videos that are on there. Who knows, you might learn a little something. And we have adventures on there, goofing off sometimes, always doing something different on the Vast Motorsports channel. So anyway, y'all have a good day. God bless.